Channing Tatum says that Avengers Doomsday is going to make fans lose their minds. And on top of that, he almost answered a question about a troublemaker on the set of Avengers Doomsday, which we've heard rumors about before. And now we have a new report talking more about Chris Evans' role in Doomsday as well. This is what Channing Tatum said. Take it from his mouth, not mine. Here we go.
You know that Doomsday has officially wrapped, right? What are we gonna get from this? Like, what's the scope? Can we even wrap our brains around the scope of this?
No, look, they set up a bar for themselves every movie, and they beat it every single movie. And I can tell you this, as I was reading it, I was like, no, what? How are they going to do this? Like, I don't understand how they're going to do this, and you're just not ready. Like, I don't know how to describe it to you. Like, it's gonna make your brains ooze out of your ears. Like, like in the way that I knew when Blade walks on screen, like in Deadpool Wolverine.
That was just so epic. That was like one of the most epic things from Marvel.
Physically lose their actual minds, and like it's that, but like I don't know, maybe times like 50, because it's just
times 50.
One of them things. It's gonna be, people are just gonna like, and just the story. And I can't divulge anything, but
his publicist is like right there.
You're just not ready.
Like, don't say anything you can't say.
I think I know the answer to this. Who is the biggest troublemaker on set?
Oh, I mean. I can't say.
I think I know the answer.
So he goes, I can't say. I mean, obviously it sounds like he was going to say Downey there. Robert Downey Jr. That's neither here nor there. We've heard that there's been trouble on the set, but from what I gathered, actually, that trouble on the set with a particular actor wasn't like beef with other actors. It was something about the script and how they were particularly filming something. And if that's the case, then it sounds like Robert Downey Jr. just wanted to get something perfect and wanted it filmed kind of a different way. That's the rumors that we've heard. Nothing is official at this point in time. But Channing Tatum says we're going to lose our minds. And that scene with Blade and Deadpool and Wolverine, and not just Blade, but Wesley Snipes' Blade returning after all those years. He says we're gonna get scenes like that times 50. Now, of course, he could be talking about the X-Men. James Marsden is returning as Cyclops. Patrick Stewart once again returning as Professor X. Sir Ian McKellen returning as Magneto. We have Alan Cumming. We have Rebecca Romijn. We have a lot of these actors returning, and I'm assuming Tobey Maguire is gonna return as well with Andrew Garfield, and maybe like Dolph Lundgren. Who knows, right? Basically anyone from the past could show up. Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, I hope, plays both the old Human Torch and Captain America. Basically, that's what we're expecting from Avengers Doomsday, and that's what Channing Tatum is saying that we actually can expect. So it's nice to hear basically Channing Tatum say, like, yeah, you're going to see some pretty big cameo moments in this, where you're going to basically have the same scene that we got in Deadpool and Wolverine with Blade, but it's times 50. So that's pretty much like teams showing up, right? Because, I mean, we basically did get that team in Deadpool and Wolverine, but now we're going to have like the X-Men are going to show up, and it's going to be a moment that feels just like Deadpool and Wolverine in that moment. And the same thing's probably going to go for the Fantastic Four. And I am talking about the older Fantastic Four with that as well. You just have to imagine that they would put two Chris Evanses on the screen, one playing the Human Torch from the old Fantastic Four and one playing Captain America, and Deadpool being there making a joke about it. I just have to imagine that that is at least in the cards for them to do. So Channing Tatum basically like severely hinted that there's going to be some pretty big cameos coming in this movie. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of them, but we can expect a few. And it's nice to kind of hear it from him instead of just hearing it from crazy YouTubers like myself who like the idea of having cameos appear in movies if they make sense for the entire plot, which I think in this case they would. Now, going off of what he said basically about having that moment, I do think about Chris Evans. Like, the fans seeing Chris Evans return for the first time since Avengers Endgame, that's going to be crazy. And now, according to Daniel RPK, Chris Evans is going to have a major role to play in the story of Avengers Doomsday. So to me, it really does sound like we kind of are really going back kind of to Marvel's roots with the characters who started it all. And if you think about it this way, the multiverse, it's going to end. Basically, what we've known since 2008 That's coming to an end. And you can actually go further back than that. Back to 2000 with the X-Men. And if you wanted to, you could even go further back than that. Basically, what we've known from Marvel, that's all coming to an end with Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So having these characters come back like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., whether, not in the same capacity that they were before, except for Chris Evans, it sounds like it's the exact same Captain America we saw before, but him returning as Captain America, Downey returning as Doom, the people who started the MCU, they're now going to end the MCU as we know it. And of course, we're going to get a new beginning, but it sounds like, from what we've heard from reports about what Marvel wants to do with the reset, sounds like Marvel's going to pick new people for this new beginning of the MCU, which does make sense. So it makes a lot of sense for the people who started it to end it and then pass the mantles on, because Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, already said, we're going to recast Iron Man eventually. Same thing goes for Captain America. The reset's going to bring some people over, but the characters that we thought were done, like Chris Evans as Captain America, they're going to essentially reset. Same thing with Iron Man and probably Black Widow, since of course she's gone. I would expect Scarlett Johansson to return in this at some point in time. Since she didn't get to partake in Avengers Endgame, it would be nice if a variant of Black Widow got to be in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. And maybe that's one of those moments. Maybe there's like scene where they come through the frame and just like Blade, Scarlett Johansson is back as Black Widow. I actually think that would be pretty cool. I think she deserves to be back. I really liked her character. And I will say justice for Black Widow, because we got that Black Widow movie way too late and it was not done properly. So justice for Black Widow here. But really, with the multiverse, anything is possible. I've been saying that for a while. But I mean, look what's happening right now. Chris Evans is returning as the actual Steve Rogers we knew from before. Robert Downey Jr. is returning as probably the biggest Marvel villain of all time, all on the big screen, about to take place. And speaking of, also, with that report, Daniel RPK also did say this. Ghost Rider is reportedly going to have a cameo in Doomsday. Now, he didn't specify which Ghost Rider, which makes me think, I just hear Ghost Rider and Doomsday, I think Nicolas Cage, because I don't think that they would introduce the new Ghost Rider and just have him appear in Doomsday randomly, especially if it's a cameo, because he said it's a cameo. And he also says multiple other characters will also cameo, which basically Channing Tatum just told us right here. So, I think this movie, in one capacity, is what we expect it to be. Since it is the multiverse saga, we're going to see a lot of different perspectives from the multiverse, from characters in other universes. So we'll get those quick little cameos, right? As the multiverse is destroyed, yeah, maybe Ghost Rider is looking on from his universe going, well, what the heck is happening right now? Same thing with some other characters. They could just show them for 5 seconds as their universes get destroyed. And that sounds bitter, but at the same time, it technically brings them into the MCU. So Nick Cage, much like he made a very quick cameo in the Flash movie as a Superman, he could do that as Ghost Rider here. I would hope that he would have, a little bit more of a cameo than just his universe dying. I hope it would be him involved in some way. Maybe they show him fighting for 10 seconds. Who knows? But I do think it would be cool to see Nick Cage, or maybe like a fan casting, maybe like Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider, since that's been, a report for a really long time. Maybe it would be like a John Krasinski thing, like fans wanted him in the role, so they put him as Mr. Fantastic. Fans want Ryan Gosling or Keanu Reeves, so we get to see him. And it's not like a super huge commitment from an actor to join the MCU for like 10 films or something like that. But overall, I think Doomsday is going to be what we think it is. But at the same time, based on what we've heard, it really does sound like a lot of this is being kept like a really great mystery from us, which I totally love. And we don't have any set photos of actual people so far. We have photos of the set, of the Sentinels, of the X-Mansion, of other things. We have not seen any characters in any costumes or anything like that. And they've done a really good job at keeping a tight lid on it. So I actually think we're in for a really great surprise when it comes to Avengers Doomsday's story. And Channing Tatum said the story is fantastic. He said pretty much everything's fantastic. Now, of course, what is he going to say? Oh no, the story's all right. Of course he's not going to say that. But the way he spoke about it, how enthusiastic he seems to be. And he says, as a comic book fan as well, it's fantastic. I'm going to put some trust in him. But I also just I have faith in everyone involved in this movie and the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige. I think they know this has to be huge, and it's going to be huge. But hey, go ahead and let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.